Hi, it's Sue with Travel Changes Life, and today I want to talk a little bit about Cozumel. You might not know some of the things I'm going to tell you about this little island. It is actually the largest island in the Mexican Caribbean, and it's very popular for people to go to because it has beautiful beaches as well as snorkeling and diving. So, how do you get to Cozumel? You can fly directly into Cozumel. There's an international airport there. You can also fly into Cancun and take a ferry. The ferry takes really about an hour. It's a 45-minute deal usually, but by the time you get on and get off, it's about an hour over there. You can also go to Cozumel by cruise ship. And cruise ship is actually the most popular way to go because it's a very, very busy cruise port. The island itself is in the Riviera Maya. It is south of Cancun, and it is kind of straight out well, it's a little bit north of Tulum, Acamal. So it's in that area of what they call the Mexican Caribbean. And it actually is the world's most popular cruise destination. San Miguel, which is the island's main settlement, receives the bulk of the cruise industry visitors. And it is crowded when there are several ships a day in port. However, if you go to Cozumel to go to the beach, you probably won't really be in the area where cruise ship passengers come and go unless you're going to go into San Miguel. Cozumel is also part of the MAB, which is Man and the Biosphere Reserve Program. And so they have a lot of natural preserves on Cozumel. And in fact, most of the hotel and resort area is on one end of the island, and the other end of the island is pretty undeveloped and wild and protected. There is a coral reefs national park. It's called the Cozumel Reefs National Park, and it is part of the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef System, and that is the second largest coral reef system in the world. So that's why good for snorkeling. You can snorkel and dive there. And how did it get famous? For what you could see under the water as well as what you can see on top of the water? Well, way back in 1961, that was one of the first places that Jacques Cousteau filmed when he was filming all of his famous dives and talking about the areas in which he was diving. And that really is what put Cozumel on the map. And that was a long, long time ago. You will find yourself in a very crystal clear blue water, and the sands are white sugary sands. And sometimes you will see starfish there if you're there on a lucky day. So for snorkeling, it's really a very cool place to go. If you're into snorkeling, you would probably like Cozumel more than you would like Cancun. What are some more interesting facts about Cozumel? Well, there is a tree there called the sapote tree, and it provided the first gum that made chiclets way back in the day. So Cozumel is kind of the very start of the chewing gum industry. And its name is derived from a Mayan word that means land of the swallows, because there are a lot of the swallows along the island of Cozumel, and you will see those, and you will also see statues and likenesses of them. So what about where to stay? Well, you can go to very high-end 5-star plus resorts, or you can go to little mom and pop places that are literally outside with a hammock. So there's all price ranges in Cozumel. And there are only two roads really that bisect the island. One of them is the coastal road, and the other one is the cross road. And then there are little roads that go off of that. There's also a cycle path, and it borders going along the Caribbean Sea. So if you want to look at what resorts are there or hotels, you would look on the west side of the island. And then the eastern shore, the eastern part of the island, is really a lot of endless stretches of beach. And then inland from the beach on the western side, on the eastern side, there's jungles that are really thick. So Cozumel has something for hikers, something for snorkelers, something for divers, something for beach bunnies. And then, of course, it has in the hotel and restaurant part, it has plenty of really wonderful restaurants as well. So if you are interested in going to Cozumel, There are, depending on where you live in the United States, there are some charter flights, depending if you're in a big city, that go directly into Cozumel and about a week later come back. Of course, you can take commercial flights as well. Me personally, if I was going to go to Cozumel, I would get a flight directly into Cozumel so that I wouldn't have to worry about getting to Cancun and getting my luggage and getting on a ferry and getting on the ferry and then getting transportation at the end of the ferry to get off and go to a resort. And then secondly, if you are on a cruise ship and you're making a stop in Cozumel, you will find that there are hundreds of shore excursions that you can do to various parts of the island. You can visit a beach, you can go snorkeling, you can go diving, you can take hikes into the jungle. There's all sorts of different things that you can do from your ship if you're in Cozumel for the day. And you can buy those ship excursions from the ship, or you can buy private excursions off the ship, which are often a better value. Or you can just see if you want to get off the ship, if you want to taxi around. Just make sure you get back to the ship by the time they tell you to be there, because you don't want to be left standing. So that's a little bit about Cozumel, which is a really beautiful place to go in Mexico. If you're into islands, that's probably one of the prettiest islands you can visit there. This is Sue with Travel Changes Life. If you would like to get my email, my email that I send out 2 or 3 times a month, is I don't inundate you with emails, but 2 or 3 times a month I will talk about some resource, or maybe a well-priced trip I see, or maybe something that's a great adventure that you might want to go on. You can go to suepainter.com/travel news. Leave your name and your email address, and I will put you on my email list, and then you will start getting my emails, as I say, 2 or maybe 3 times a month at the most. That's it. Enjoy Cozumel if you go. If you want help with that, let me know. Bye-bye.